Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, and in some places, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman's Dialogue. And we hope that everybody's doing all right today. Hopefully, it's a great day for you. Even if you're having a bad day, guess what? You know what? It's going to get better. It will definitely get better. Hey, before we get the show rolling today, hey, I am your boy. I'm Steve. I am your host. Hey, my co-host over here is kicking it with me, my homeboy, my road dog, the Solomon Solo the Dawn. Solo, how you feeling today, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling great. It's the holiday season. It's that time of the year where for us, man, we're getting ready to move, making 2025 plans. We still got the rest of this month and next month and Christmas and everything, but feeling great, man, motivated. Happy to be here as always, ready to get on this subject and do what we do, man. Sometimes it's entertaining, sometimes it's serious, but regardless of what we're covering, you know you're gonna get a great show. And from two great brothers living life to the fullest, man. How you feeling, bro?
You know, I'm good, man. Hey, I'm good, man. And look, you know what, man? We jumping straight to it today. Something has been bothering me. This has been bothering me for a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Why are teachers so underpaid?
Yeah, that's real. That's disgusting.
You look at a profession. Most teachers, back in the day, I think, there were a lot of teachers that, went into the profession because of the benefits.
Right.
Which at that time, the benefits were kids had almost a whole 3 months out of June, July, August, almost over 3 months out of school, right?
Yeah.
But the teachers still got paid during that time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then as, the time shortened up, kids aren't out as long anymore. But I do, but something that I noticed, and I've noticed this for a long time, is this is a profession that teachers who go into that profession, most of them are in the profession because they love what they do.
Yes.
They love working with children. They love educating our children. But it's unfair for teachers now, especially the middle school and the high school ones.
Oh, God, yeah.
They're dealing with stuff now that is off the chain.
Yes.
But you're talking about a profession in which still predominantly women,
Mm-hmm.
where the teachers are not just the teachers. They're playing the role of mother,
Yeah.
father,
Seriously.
aunt, uncle, counselor. They're playing, they have so many roles.
Yeah.
And yet they're with your children most of the time from around 7:30 in the morning until about 3:30 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
That's a full work day.
Yeah.
And they're with your children more than your children are with the teachers more than they typically are with the parents.
Right.
But yet, teachers have to fight to get pay raises. Teachers have to fight to get their contracts renewed. And usually the teachers who have the issues getting the contracts renewed,
Mm-hmm.
those are usually the best teachers. Those are the ones that are really fighting for their children. But they always have this handful over here that, they like things the way they used to be and have always been. And we got this new teacher coming in here wanting to raise test scores by studying and staying after school and helping the kids. Oh, yeah, you do have teachers that want to do that. But you also have those teachers who are not wanting to do that.
Yeah.
They just want to do just enough. There's a population, there is. But at the end of the day, teachers are so underpaid. If you think about it, they are handling our most prime assets.
Yeah, I was going to say asset. Yeah.
our children.
Right.
They're the future.
Yeah, literally.
They're helping to create the foundation for these children as they move further on in life.
Right.
But nobody wants to pay the teachers. And so I don't understand, why is it that teachers should actually be on the same pay scale as most corporate companies, right?
Yeah.
Teachers have to work a whole lot of years to even see, to me, in my opinion, decent salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about people that will give up their time. A lot of teachers don't get off when after the last bell rings. They start working on plans for the next day,
Facts.
for the next week, for the next month. They're redoing their bulletin boards. They're cleaning up the classroom. And then so many of our teachers, they don't even provide enough money for the teachers that get new textbooks,
Yeah.
construction paper, crayons, pencils, the things that are necessary to educate our children. They don't have enough.
And you know what's crazy? I've heard, I don't know how many times, Steve, and it's almost common for me to hear from, whether it's through the grapevine or somebody I know who has a kid that's in school. The teacher, they were asking the parents for donations because they needed crayons, or maybe they needed new Sharpies to draw on the bulletin board. Just simple stuff. And mother,
that list is like a book. They need napkins, they need paper towel. They need tissue, paper towels, they need glue, hand sanitizer, wipes. This is stuff that they asked that can you guys donate this? We need this for our classroom.
Right.
That shouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
Now listen, mind you, especially our Title I schools. See, Title I schools, and most of your Title I schools are, of course, there's a certain average income of the families that are tied to the school.
Right.
And it's not fair that you have to ask your parents to do this. That means there's something broken in the system.
Yes.
The system needs to be revamped. Teachers should not need to be digging into their pockets.
That's real.
Already, to me, what I consider substandard salaries, and now you're asking them to dig in and buy supplies.
Right.
I don't get it. It's not fair, and that to me is not the way the system should work. But then they wonder why our schools, especially our inner city schools, why the test scores are so low. Now, that's not just the reason. There are other reasons now. I'm not saying that this is the only reason, because there are some other reasons. There's some parents out there that just don't give a damn.
True.
Right? And the kids are really raising themselves. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that the teachers aren't making enough money.
Yeah.
Especially here in Georgia. And I think they've tried to do a few things, some kind of like bonuses and stuff like that, but they need to revamp the entire pay system.
Yeah, they do.
Pay or the salary scale for all of the teachers, from the pre-K teachers all the way till seniors, the 12th grade high school teachers.
Yeah,
it's got to be done. It's got to be done. And for me, I sit back often because it's a challenge with me, because I deal with literacy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's a challenge. It's a challenge to sit back, man, and look and or listen and hear teachers talk about.
Right.
And so now you have so many teachers that are leaving the profession.
Yeah.
For a couple reasons. Some of them are leaving because the kids are so have gotten so damn bad. They don't want to deal with it.
Right.
You have other teachers who are like, I'm just tired of fighting and struggling I want to be the best teacher I can be, but every time the more I work to be that great teacher, I got all these forces working against me.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge. That's a struggle that I deal with as an individual who's aware of what's happening. So when you look at that, it's you're trying to figure out. I'm not understanding why teachers have to struggle the way they do. And when they're struggling, why is it that people aren't stepping up to the plate? This is where I think corporations need to get involved.
Yeah.
And say, hey, look, you know what? We're going to subsidize the salaries for teachers.
Right.
Even if, most of these companies, the CEOs, CFOs, and all the other decision makers, children are probably in private schools. But I still think that I think it should be a community-based thing where, and I know it may not be fair to say, but I think some people would, you know what? I will say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they owe it to the communities in which these companies are located.
Yeah, they making money off the community. So
Shoot. So give money back. Not just donate to the playground. There's a lot of companies that are doing that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about supplies that will help the kids learn, help educate the children. That's what will make a difference. That's what's going to make the impact.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm always trying to make sure that whatever I can do to help teachers, teachers that I know, if when they say, hey, we need donations, if somebody can donate paper or whatever, I'll go over to Staples or Walmart and get ream of paper and what else you need, pencils, crayons. I'll do that. I'll get that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see teachers struggle. They shouldn't have to struggle to do their job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What sense does that make, man?
It doesn't make any sense, man. So yeah, but that's something that we're working on now. In 2025, we're coming up with a plan and a program that we hope that we can implement that will kind of help a handful of teachers throughout, the city of Atlanta, Fulton County, Clayton County, Fayette County, and Cobb County as well. To kind of adopt a classroom, so to speak.
Yeah.
For a school, and you take the kids that are, the one, again, this is K through 5. Those are the kids that are, to me, are still the most impressionable. Those are the ones that we can make the greatest impact on.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So be on the lookout and be listening, for that, because we're going to reach out to some of our listeners to say, hey, look, what, we need you to join in with us, help us out. Your kids, your teachers, your children's teachers, do something nice for a teacher.
Yeah.
Get them a $5 Starbucks gift card, give them a Target gift card, but do something to show your teachers that you appreciate what they do with your children.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah, so what you got?
I remember when I was in high school, her name was Miss Race. One of the coolest teachers I had. Like, that was one of those teachers where, it was kind of like a mixture, right? And you got your cool teacher, you got the teacher that'll just bore you to death. But Miss Race was like one of those teachers where I would look forward to going to her class because, like you said earlier, she did like 7 jobs even though she was paying for one. She was, depending on what we needed, she would be the therapist. See, some of our, like you said, father, mother, big sister that you never had that you could get advice from. And the biggest thing about it, even though, how old was she? I don't know how old she was, but she was older, much older than we were. But she was so cool, and it's like she was relatable. It's almost like it wasn't even a teacher for me. It was almost like I was just kicking it with like my big sister or something like that. And she made such an impact on me personally, but really all of us. We loved her. Like, she was one of the favorite teachers in the whole school. And I just remember I used to have so much fun in her classroom. And when you were talking, it made me think about that, because it really it hurts when you hear that good teachers have a hard time doing their job.
Yeah.
And teachers like that, man, if we have more of those, then I think that would make a big difference, because even my situation, that was a memorable teacher I had in high school, but just all across the board, because the teachers that enjoy what they do and the ones that are trying to get those test scores up, they're trying to make a difference. They actually, they don't look at it like a job. Like they're passionate about learning and teaching. It's like their purpose, their calling. Those people are so important, and they make such a difference, man, because those people inspire the world's next. You never know what that kid could be. That kid could be the world's next president. That kid could be the world's next attorney. Whatever the case, they could just be what they could start their own business or go to school, whatever that kid wants to do. But having teachers like that, it helps combat the negativity that a lot of kids deal with, because all too often, one of the biggest things about growing up is when you're young, right? You start off when you're young, you can do whatever you want. Everybody says, hey, you could do whatever you. I remember when I was little, right? I said I wanted to be, doesn't even make sense. I wanted to be a rocket scientist cowboy. And it's like none of those things even mix. But I remember I would watch Toy Story.
That's some shit you made up as a kid.
Yeah. Cause it's like I would literally picture myself riding horses.
Song called, was it Space Cowboy? It was yeah. So I'm kind of remember, man. My son used to watch somebody cowboy. It was like a space. He was a space cowboy. It's like a cowboy out in space. Yeah.
And I remember I literally, like, who the fuck gonna ride horses out in space? Like, how does that work? But when I was a kid, everybody told me, oh, you can do whatever you want. You could, like, they would encourage, when you would say something. But what I notice is as you get older and reality starts to kick in, then, that kind of goes out the window. You're met with a lot more negativity. It's like, oh, well, if you want to go to school to be you want to get a business management degree, but how is that going to help you if you want to change your career earlier? Or, oh, this degree only pays that much. But overall, my point is, those teachers, those good teachers, the ones that enjoy doing what they do, they make such an impact on kids. Because when I used to go to her class, man, I could be having a bad day, she would turn it around. I could be, we could talk to her about stuff, and it's like even if she didn't understand, she still made it feel like she was able to relate to what we were going through.
Do you remember any of your favorite teachers? Because I go back to like middle school, and that's how the teachers that really made an impact, on your life.
Yeah,
I can go back to middle school. This professor, their name was Dr. Fish.
Okay.
He was our science professor.
Gotcha.
And he had the weirdest lifestyle, but he was the coolest teacher ever.
Yeah.
Cool cat, man. And then in high school, I had a couple, brother Joseph. Actually, brother Joseph. He was actually a religion teacher.
Okay.
And then also Mrs. Jordan.
Okay.
And then when I got to college, Mr. Andrew Hill, he was our management professor. I had a couple in college that I still remember. Dr. Gillespie, she was my literature professor.
Yeah.
Mr. Hill was my management professor. I'm missing. Dr. Jama Naumba was my economics professor.
Okay.
He was also one of my favorites. And then Dr. Edmonds, Steve Edmonds.
Right.
He was from New Orleans. And that was my finance teacher.
Got it.
And I had because my major was finance, I had a couple classes with him. But you remember those teachers that impacted you and made a difference on your life.
Absolutely.
And you'll never. I mean, there are plenty of teachers I can remember their names.
Yeah.
But the ones that made a difference, I remember.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so critical for us to do what we can to help our teachers.
Yeah, for
We have
real.
to.
For real, man. Because it's overall, like, they did such a good job at teaching that I never, and now that I'm older, I understand, but back then it's like I never thought like, oh man, I feel for my teacher, man. I know what they going through at home is rough. It's like they were able to really check their life at the door and step into the classroom and be who we needed.
Yep.
And teachers like that, man. And I mean, don't get me wrong, all the teachers are appreciated, but the ones who I'm speaking to, the ones who deserve it the most and the ones who need it the most, we really need more teachers like that, because it really hurts when I hear that, and I see them on TikTok all the time. Oh, I love teaching. I always wanted to be a teacher when I was little, but the way the kids are these days, I just can't take it. I'm going back to school to do something else.
Yeah.
It hurts, man, because it makes me think of my favorite teachers, and it's like, what I want is more of them. We need those type of teachers, man. And then honestly, I get it. Like, I mean, as passionate as you are about something, you still got to pay your bills. And that's really what this, a majority of this, what it ties back to, because the teachers, they have one of the most important jobs in society, and they get paid the least. And the people who have, fun jobs, like, you got your athletes, you got sports and entertainment. I get it. There's a big market for that and they get paid, but it's not like there's no money in the educational system. And it's like they're paid that because they have to, because nobody's supporting it. Those schools, they get a ton of money. And especially if we're talking about private education, that's even a different situation. I'm not sure what private education teachers get, but as far as like regular, inner city kids and those teachers, they're so important. And that's why I said at the beginning of this podcast, it's disgusting how they're not paid well. Some of them can't do their jobs because it's like, okay, this kid, they might recognize, like, we'll just say, I don't know, Johnny, he needs more than learning what 1 + 1 is.
Yeah.
Johnny needs a father figure. He needs somebody who's around, so who he can talk to, because when he goes home, like you said, the parents, Johnny's parents, they might just not care. Maybe they Johnny's he's living in, I guess, less fortunate, so his parents are always working. He comes home, he's by himself.
There's a principal. I don't, and I hate it when she informed us, a group of us that were really close to the school.
Okay.
Her name, Dr. Emily Massey. She was a principal at Seaborn Lee Elementary School. That's a Fulton County school.
Right.
Title I elementary school. And I remember when we started our literacy program, she wanted us to bring it to her school first.
Okay.
The more we got to know her, that's when I saw what true passion was about. When it came to an educator. They had a washer and dryer set up in the school. She said, because I have children who come to school with their clothes with clothes on that haven't been washed in a week.
Are you serious?
And what they would do is they would wash and dry the clothes, but had other clothes to give the kids while they did this.
Wow.
See, that's passion.
Yeah.
They don't make too many teachers like that anymore.
Right.
And I'm not saying they're not out there, but what I'm saying is that is passion. That's a person who loves what they do.
Yes.
There's a teacher over at whatever elementary school is here off of Old National, Burdett. I can't think of the name. Is it McNair? I don't remember. It's a school over here, but there's a teacher over there. He's an Omega, He brings his clippers to school.
What?
And he cuts hair for the kids at the school.
Wow.
This is free of charge. This is because he's doing it because, hey, I care about you.
Yeah.
That's how you know there's passion. When a person you love your job.
Right.
If you do stuff like that, you can't tell me that there aren't good teachers out here. There are a lot of great teachers out here. They just don't get paid enough money.
Right.
So we all as a community, we have to do something. We got to help them.
Yeah.
We have to help them.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna reach out to the owner of Nancy's Pizza downtown. See if I can, I want to have maybe, we're already in November, almost December, or maybe starting in January, February.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month till school ends, I think in May. Maybe once a month, I want to meet with the owner and talk to them about having maybe like a teacher's night where
Teachers night.
where
Yeah.
10 to 15 teachers are chosen from the different elementary schools. And again, I know people will say, well, it's not fair just to elementary schools, but the elementary teachers are the ones to me that right now are the most critical.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're handling, it's, you see the sticker on a box, fragile, handle with care.
Yeah.
That's that population of children that they're dealing with.
That's real.
So again, I maybe once a month, hey, I'll team up with some of my people and say, hey, look, once a month, let's get together, let's sponsor, a group of teachers to have a night out, to come out, eat, drink some wine, and just talk with one another. It's a chance for them to also, network with one another.
Right.
Teachers from different schools.
Right.
And just so they can see too that, oh, I'm dealing with this issue and this issue and this issue.
Right.
And then this teacher's like, oh, I'm dealing with this, and this. So they can see the commonalities, which I'm sure they already know. But when you're in the same school and you're talking to your colleagues, you all know your problems.
Right.
And it's different when you hear other teachers in another school that's in another county
That's real.
that said, I deal with that same shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe it's meetings like that will help to kind of drive solutions.
Mm-hmm.
That will help to kind of get these problems resolved.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
So that's something that, and you and I will look into that. We'll get you back to people, and also, in the meantime, look, if you know of a teacher that is always digging in her pocket for her children, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and she's always digging in her pocket, trying to help her kids out, shoot us an email at gentlemensdialogue@gmail.com, and we're going to see what we can do to help this teacher out. Maybe we can help her get some supplies. Maybe we can help her, again, pencil, paper, glue, whatever, dried up macaroni for, those macaroni things, little, the ornaments and stuff they used to make it, when kids were real little, right?
Right.
So, but whatever it is, let's see, you have to lead by example.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. You're right.
People always talk about what needs to be done, but to really get things done, you got to get off your ass and lead by example. And that's what we want to do. So like I said, if you know of a teacher, and maybe we may get, if we get multiple emails about one teacher,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, we get 10 emails and the same teacher's name pops up, then we do realize that we probably need to, let's take a look at that teacher and see,
Yeah.
let's contact her and see what she needs.
Right.
All these teachers, the contacts, the information's out on the, on the county, on the websites, and you can reach the teacher directly. And maybe we'll reach out to a teacher and say, hey, what is it that you do? What is it that you always buy or you need? What is your classroom need?
Yeah.
And then maybe we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
Can we do that, bro?
100%.
All right. So, hey, look, we're ending another episode of Gentlemen's Dialogue. Again, remember, you know of a teacher that's, and again, we're right now specifically focusing on the teachers that are here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. So reach out to us if you know that teacher and she's struggling. That teacher's struggling, and she's using her own money,
Yeah.
buying supplies. And I know there's more than one teacher that's doing this. I know this. I'm not saying that this is the only teacher, but a lot of teachers know that there's always this one teacher,
Right.
and she's giving her all
Yeah.
because she loves her children that much. And if you know of that one, shoot us an email. Let us know the school, her name, and what grade she teaches, and we'll take it from there. Again, hey, thanks for listening. Check us out.
Yeah.
Keep listening. We're gonna keep coming with good information. Keep listening, and I promise you'll get something out of it. And it's and it's a podcast, but it's still, we like for it to be two-way communication. We want to hear back from you, and we give us your feedback, so we know again what you want to talk about, what you want us to address and discuss, and
Yeah.
and you know what? Hey, we'll do it. We'll listen. You guys take your time to listen to us, and we're going to do the same and listen to you.
Bam.
Until the next episode, have a good evening.